Next up, we have Amanda Ellis. She is a former UN ambassador who currently serves as the executive director for the Global Institute of Sustainability and Innovation and a senior director for the Julie Ann Wrigley Global Futures Laboratory at Arizona State University. We're so proud and honored to have the support of the Julie Ann Wrigley Global Futures Lab, particularly for foreign correspondents who cover climate change and environmental reporting. Please join me in welcoming Amanda.
Good evening, thank you. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, era e ngā rangatiratanga. I have just greeted you in Māori, the indigenous language of Aotearoa, New Zealand, my birth island. And I have greeted you as rangatira, as chiefs, as leaders. Thank you to the awardees and to all the journalists here tonight for the courageous work that you do on behalf of all the rest of us. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. So why did I repeat that 3 times? Our tradition is once for the ancestors, second for those who are present this evening, and third, and perhaps most importantly, for future generations who are really counting on us to make sure that we will have a livable planet. I've just come back from COP28, just flew in last night. It's pretty depressing. So we are even more grateful to the work that those of you who are doing climate journalism are doing. We know that there is increased dis and misinformation, and we know that the stories that you tell and the information that you convey can really help to educate and to make people aware that this is the decisive decade. The stakes could not be higher. And I have a confession to make. When I was ambassador to the UN in 2015 and we were negotiating the Sustainable Development Goals, I did not understand the importance of the climate crisis, how imminent it was, nor of the very important relationship between climate and peace. I served as co-chair on the Security Council for humanitarian access into Syria. And as I learned more and more about the origins of the conflict and began to understand the role that climate played in it, I became very grateful for the education that I received from Julie Ann Wrigley, who is a pioneering philanthropist and really a very early advocate for the importance of sustainability and of climate education. The Julie Ann Wrigley Global Futures Lab at ASU is really designed to create just and regenerative global futures, both grounded in indigenous wisdoms and leveraging high tech. Of course, climate communications are absolutely critical. And I have learned so much from my scientist colleagues, but also from the journalists at our Walter Cronkite School for Journalism and Mass Communication. So thank you all for the pivotal role you play to maintain democracy and a livable planet on a global scale. I wanted to mention very quickly a couple of projects that we are delighted to be partnering with the Association of Foreign Press Correspondents on. And I was given specific instructions by Nancy to say that we will be deepening this collaboration and expanding it starting now. But first of all, the Human Security for All campaign, which is a partnership with the United Nations. We no longer have the luxury of national security. We live on one very small planet, and we as humans are a large presence. So human security is what we all need to focus on, and the work that you all do as journalists is critical to that. Second, with the Interparliamentary Union, 180 member countries, the oldest multilateral organization on the planet, where we are helping to create a wonderful campaign called My Parliament, My Planet, Our Shared Global Future. So please Google that and check it out. And finally, with UNICEF, this was the first time that there was a greening education pavilion at COP28. It was the first time there was a national delegation from UNICEF of youth from my home country, Aotearoa, New Zealand. And those youth voices are so critical. So, in closing, thank you all for the role that you are helping to play to help us emerge from this emergency, and to leave you with a quote from my favorite poet, Amanda Gorman. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it. Thank you, courageous journalists, for being our light in the world. Thank you.